You're muted, Chantrell.
Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. My name is Chantrell. I am new to the foundation. I started in May of last year, so I started at the end of last year's Midlands Gives. So this year will be my first go around of a full Midlands Gives. I oversee Midlands Gives here at the foundation, and I also help Haley and our other program officers, Trinice and Aaron, with processing grants here as well. I will let the rest of the team introduce themselves. Aaron, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you had said. Did you have to introduce myself? Sorry.
I did.
I'm Erin Johnson, Vice President for Community Investment here at the Community Foundation. I really appreciate you all being on the call. I think this is a great opportunity to learn actually how the platform works, which I don't think a lot of folks have taken the time to do. It's a lot hardier than most of you probably know. So we're excited to have Mary here with us to really show us how to sort of manage the back end of it so you can get the most out of it and be more efficient as you're running your campaigns through the online portal.
Mary, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone before we get started, please?
Yes, absolutely. I am Mary DeMar. I am a project manager for Neon Giving Days, and Neon Giving Days is the technology provider behind the Midlands Gives platform. So I'm going to show you all about how to manage the platform as a nonprofit user. So yeah, excited to be here today.
Thanks, everyone. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and give you the dates for our upcoming trainings that we have. We have 3 upcoming trainings. They all are hybrid. You do have the option of coming in or staying virtual. If you do come in, we are going to provide refreshments because it is going to be from 12 to 1. Each training will be from 12 to 1. So like a brown bag lunch, you can bring your lunch and have training with us. So the first training will be February 16th. That will be our Giving Day strategy workshop. The next training was Giving Day Communications, which is February 21st, I believe. And then our last one is Donor Relations on March 21st from 12 to 1. So Mary, you can go ahead.
Actually, the communications training is March 2nd.
March 2nd, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay.
All right, so go ahead, Mary, you can take it away.
Awesome. Thank you. Give me one moment. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Chantrell, could you enable screen sharing for me, please?
I think she's looking for it.
I just made you a co-host.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Okay, almost there. Okay, let me know if that's coming through okay. I have a slide deck PowerPoint open here. Perfect, thank you. So today I'm going to go through a walkthrough, a live tour of the Midlands Gives platform system from the perspective of everyone as a nonprofit organization and a nonprofit organization user. So just a note, the slide deck here, I'm really just kind of primarily use as an agenda, and this will be available as a supplemental resource in case you need to reference it after the training today, but primarily we're going to go through the live system. So this is, can everyone see this okay here? Just an overview and agenda of what we'll review. So we did our intro, Chantrell went over the dates. So now I'm going to walk you through how to log into the platform as a nonprofit organization user and cover all these other items here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab and start from the beginning. So if I just go to the Midlands Gives website, you can Google this. I have it bookmarked here. So here is the main website. In the upper right-hand corner, there's this login button. You'll want to hover over the login button and then click the button nonprofit. This is where you'll go to log in as a nonprofit. And then here you'll see there's 2 options. So because registration is technically technically still open. There's a section on the right for new organizations to submit inquiries. So that would be only for a brand new organization who's never participated in Midlands Gives. Most of you, I believe, are going to be those who have an organization account in the system, or you may have previously participated if you're not already registered. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and select the login button. And I'm going to enter my credentials here. You'll see there is a forgot your password link button if you do need assistance. So one moment and I will log in. And enter my password. Success. So the first time that you log into the Midlands Gives platform, you'll be taken to a slightly different screen. There you can just simply launch the Midlands Gives Gives Day website. And so here, this is our dashboard. So this is going to show you a couple of things every time you log in. You'll have the announcement section here. That's for just announcements, any new information that the foundation wants to post. So this has some information about the annual profile update. Coming closer towards Midlands Gives Day, there might be some other information here. You'll also notice the Midlands Gives milestones here. Now there's a couple more in here that will load or that are past these dates, but this just has different dates that you want to be aware of. So February 28th, that's the hard deadline for updating your profile to be included in Midlands Gives. Another thing I did want to point out in the upper right here, you'll see this. This is a status. So this is showing my organization status. So I am an approved and published organization. Depending on your organization status, if you're not already registered, you might see other statuses. So for example, one could be unapproved. Maybe you missed the initial deadline, but don't worry, there's still time to provide the annual profile update. In that case, you might see an unapproved profile status. There'll also be a link to the update your profile button. So the status here is always going to display in the upper right, so you can see that at a glance. So that's the dashboard here. Next section, we'll kind of go through each one of these main navigation items here. So the next section is the My Midlands Gives profile. So this here is where you can see everything about your nonprofit organization. You can make edits to your profile, which will affect how it displays on the Midlands Gives website. So here we also have the status, so the approved and published for this particular organization. A couple buttons here. There's the edit my profile if you need to make a edit to your profile, if you need to update your goal, for example, for Midlands Gives Day, or maybe you need to change a field. This button is going to take you to the edit screen here. So these are all of the fields that you would have filled out as a part of registration. So again, in case you need to edit anything, I'll go back. There's also the donation embed code here. This allows you to copy a code or kind of like a script that you can use to embed a donate button on some sort of other external website. So this might be helpful if you just want a quick way to get that donate button on another website for Midlands Gives Day or when early giving opens. And it has some options here to change the styling. You can put in your brand colors here. And then the other button here is the QR codes. That's just a way to generate a QR code. Now that this technology has become a little bit more popular, this is just an easy way for you to get an image that you can, again, use in other marketing materials or on some sort of other, maybe not a website, but if you have anything printed that you want to include this for Midlands Gives Day. So that's just the overview. So there's other sections here you'll see on the organization account. The overview and editing your profile is probably the primary way or the primary thing that you're going to do to edit your profile. But here's some other areas that you can use to kind of embellish your organization profile on the Midlands Gives website. One of those is to create donation levels. So this is just what this looks like on the back end here. So donation levels are like suggested giving amounts. So it allows a donor to kind of get the idea of what their gift might provide. Let me actually show you real quick here what that looks like on the front end. Give me one moment. So if we go to the Midlands Gives website, and then I just search for my organization, and then I'm going to go directly to the donate form so you can see that. So see here underneath donation amount. So this has the amount, suggested amounts, and what that gift might provide in these little boxes here. So again, it's just a way to kind of encourage donations, allow a donor to kind of, understand what their gift might provide. So you can add donation levels on your profile here. So you can add a donation level. That's just going to bring up the amount and the label. So these aren't required, but you can add them to your profile if you like. The next two tabs here, programs and events. Those you can use if you have a particular program that you want to highlight or you want to show, prospective donors on your profile as well. This one here doesn't have any, but I want to show you where that would show if you did add some. So there's the overview, the main profile tab here, and then there's programs where, again, you can list any particular programs that you want to promote. Maybe that's a new program. Maybe that's something that you're, raising money for. And then there's also events as well. So let me go back to the back end here. So you can add programs on the programs tabs or events. So here has an example of an event. This is older, but this just simply has, if you wanted to add a new event, this can have the event name and dates, and then you can also include a description and location as well. And then I'll kind of check the chat if you have questions, but I think we have some time at the end as well. And then next couple tabs here, multimedia. So this one, you want to be aware of or kind of understand how that impacts your organization's profile online. So to illustrate, let me go back to the organization profile online so you can see. So back to the main overview. So here, see, this has the preview for a video in two cases, these videos and other photos. So these are helpful to really showcase your organization's work, your mission. Obviously, these are just, some test images here. But this is where you can, provide that information for a prospective donor who wants to kind of see what you're doing, how your organization is helping the community. So you can add photos or you can add videos. Notice when I go to add new multimedia entry, this is going to allow me to define whether this is a picture or you can have a video. So the video does need to be hosted on either YouTube or Vimeo. And depending on which I click, that's going to open a little separate data entry screen here for you. And then next section, documents and comments. So those are actually more for kind of the management of your organization's profile. Documents is going to contain documents that may have been required for the registration process. So there's probably not too much you need to do here in case someone from the foundation has instructed or asked for you to upload a new one. And that takes us to the last section here, which is comments. So comments are for the Central Carolina Community Foundation. They can give you comments or instructions if you need to do something with your profile, so you can keep track of those here. Probably doesn't come up too much, but maybe there's a field that has a typo in it, or maybe they have a message. So this is where those will display here. So that's pretty much everything for the organization profile and overview,
Mary,
and all
we
of the
did get
subsections there.
we did get one question in the chat. Where would be the best place to put testimonials?
Testimonials. So testimonials, those display down at the bottom here automatically. And let me show you where you enter those. So those are underneath edit my profile. And then there's there's one data entry screen here. So I think you would really just kind of have one testimonial. Testimonial.
Mary,
Actually,
testimonials, if you scroll down past mission statement, I think the last box, go up a little bit. When it says stories and highlights, you
Oh,
can
you're
put
right.
testimonials in that section as well.
You're right. Thank you, Chantrell. So that's just one data entry box here. This is going to have simple formatting. So you could have just kind of, one story, how you've helped someone. And then if you wanted to add multiple ones, you could just have enter different spaces, but that will display down at the bottom here at the very end. Let me know if that makes sense. Thank you, Chantrell. And then, yeah, I'm just looking at the chat here, just to confirm the comments. So those are just messages that the foundation can send to you if you need to make any specific updates to your profile. So that's just for the team to communicate with you. And then there's one more question about the donate button, adding that onto your website. So the donate button, that will, since Midlands Gives is a year-round platform, if you were to use that, add the donate button or QR code, that will be live for year-round, since Midlands Gives is a year-round platform. But when you're talking about Midlands Gives Day, that's going to automatically just be counting the money raised on that particular day, and then the time that's designated for early giving. Let me know if that all makes sense. Let me hop back over to my agenda and just make sure I didn't miss anything here. So we covered logging in, login screen, dashboard.
How do you want us to like raise our hand and the reactions or what? Because when you say, I hope you got that and you have any questions, and then you move on so fast. I know you're covering a lot
Sure.
of material. Do you prefer we put questions in the chat as we go so that you can still get through all the material?
Yeah, I think that would be fine. And then there's also some time we have designated at the end to cover questions that might be more in depth, or if I don't have time to cover them, if that sounds good. And then, yeah, just in case there's anything that we can't get to, if we run out of time, we can always follow up via email afterwards. So we covered the profile here. Okay, great. So let's go back into the system. So next section I wanted to show you is my fundraisers. So this section here is going to display fundraisers that have been created for your organization. So fundraisers can either be created by your organization if you have a specific need or a specific program that you specifically want to raise money for, or fundraisers can also be created by your supporters. So that's the concept of peer-to-peer fundraising. So it's a great way to enable your supporters again. So those are, the people that are going to ask their network to support your organization. Maybe they have a particular reason or cause that they want to, that they, are involved with a nonprofit for. So this list is going to display all of the active fundraisers, or rather published fundraisers by default. So you'll see I don't have any for this organization in my list here. But say I want to look at any fundraisers in the past, you can use these additional filter options here. So for example, I can just go back to, let's see if there's any expired ones. So there's a couple here. And this is again going to show you, it's a little small, let me make it a little bit bigger. So this is going to show you those that are expired or any other status. You can click on show all to get that entire list here. Now, one new thing, so this was new as of last year, but one thing that you can do for fundraisers is you do have the ability to copy a fundraiser that was created previously. So that's kind of cool because it'll literally copy the fundraiser if that was created by one of your supporters or your organization. And so that gives you an easy way to just create that again for like the new giving day. And that's just simply by clicking we call this an ellipses action button, and then copy fundraiser here. When I click copy fundraiser, that's going to take me to this data entry screen here, and it's going to include all of the fields that were on that fundraiser. So you'll notice there's this image of a dog here, title, custom URL. So that is what is in the URL for the fundraiser. So you can hover over any of the little question mark icons here, and that'll, further explain what these are. So if you're copying a fundraiser, you can enter the data entry here, a goal. Notice as I type in the fields on the left, this whole section here in the middle and the right is a live preview. So you can see the goal updating here on the right, the hero image. So you can replace the hero image. Again, when you're copying a fundraiser, that's going to include whatever was on the previous fundraiser. So if you wanted to update that image, and then also the fundraiser story here. So that's how you can copy a fundraiser. If you want to create one from scratch, we go back, see this button here in the upper right, create fundraiser. So the only difference is this is just creating one from scratch. So the data entry screen is going to look almost exactly the same as the copy one. In this case, it's pulling up the default fundraising image here. So this, you can choose to use this default fundraising image, or you can add a hero image of your own if that's more specific to your organization. So that's how you can create your organization's own fundraising pages. Again, the case use for that would be, say you have a new program or some kind of initiative, maybe a capital campaign, or you're trying to raise money for a specific cause, and that will show up on your organization's profile. Let me know if you have any questions about creating those fundraisers as an organization. One other point I do want to make is, what we're walking through is, from the perspective of you as a nonprofit organization, and the process for a supporter to create a fundraiser, we do have that available on the Midlands Gives website kind of separately. So you can check that out if you want, or if you have questions about donors and they want to know how they can create their own fund page. But here is where you would manage those fundraisers. All right. And then next we have the My Donations tab. So this is going to include all of your organization's donations. So there's a couple things I want to point out about what you can do here. So you can scroll through this list if you're looking for something in particular. You can sort by transaction date. If you're sorting by transaction date, it's going to default to all time. You can do between, it's going to give you a date range here, or any of these other options. And then you can also sort by amount. One thing to note, any refunds that have been processed, so that could be at the request of the donor, or if for some reason a transaction needed to be refunded, those will show up as $0 amounts here in case you're ever looking for those. Also on the sort here, you can customize what fields display, whatever might be most useful to you. So that's the little ellipses action button here on the right, if you see that. Or excuse me, if I scroll all the way to the end here, that takes us to show us all of the fields. And then it's the click here to display additional donor and donation data. So this is where you can customize what that list is. So there's a lot of fields here. You can see there's 2 that are hidden with like the eyeball crossed out there. So you can hide fields that aren't necessary, or you can add any ones that have already been hidden. And then what else here? So you can sort through your donations if you're just looking for them. If you want to export your donation list as data, there's a couple different options to do that. There's the export button here on the right. That's simply going to export all of the donations. So if your organization has participated in Midlands Gives for 5 years, that would include the entirety of donations. There's also these 2 buttons at the top here that will allow you, it's just kind of like a shortcut to export donations from a particular date range. Say you only want a list of donations for the past few years. And then one more button, donation to export past events. This will allow you to export only the donations associated with a particular Gives Day. So in this case, you'll see Midlands Gives Days, and then there was also the Give 828 campaign that was new for last year. So that's pretty much it for the My Donations list. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat. And then next we have the My User section. And actually this comes up a lot as it relates to, any colleagues or any other users that help with your organization's management of your profile on the Midlands Gives website. So this is going to display all of the users on your organization's account. Now, here's where you would come if you need to remove a user, someone who's no longer with your organization, or if you want to change any of their preferences. So you'll see this column here, receive donation confirmation emails. So that is designating who is going to receive any confirmation of donations that are coming through. Now, on Midlands Gives Day or during early giving, that might be a larger quantity. Maybe that's just too many emails for a particular person at your organization. So you can change the settings here. So you can change these for yourself as a user or any other user at your organization. If you want to completely remove a user from your organization, you'll go to Manage Settings, and then you will remove their access to, down here at the bottom, Neon Giving Days access. You will click that remove button, and that's how they will become inactive. So they won't receive any emails through the Midlands Gives Day platform, and they also will not have access to log into the system. And so you can come here and manage your users at any time. Last year, we did allow a change as we did allow organization users to manage this list on Midlands Gives Days, because this does come up frequently if you have, any change or staff turnover at your organization here. Let me know if you have questions. Last section here on the platform or the organization overview here is the toolkit. Now, this is just a gathering of resources for you to manage the Midlands Gives Day platform and any other specific marketing materials that you might need. So there's all kinds of graphics for Midlands Gives Day, Facebook header. So that's going to be like, the specific specifications for, the header image on Facebook. So all kinds of different things you can use to add on to your organization's social media or any kind of other marketing. This also has some recordings of training, so this will be updated by the team as more of these are released. So this is a good place to come if you need. Oh yeah, there's also just the toolkit here. So that's a PDF that has a comprehensive guide of everything you need for social media and marketing. Okay, I think that's it for the admin profile. Let me go back through our agenda here, make sure I covered everything, and I'll check for any questions. So we covered everything on the profile, overview, donation levels, programs, events, multimedia, documents, and comments. So again, we'll have this slide deck available just as a supplemental resource after the webinar. Okay, so next thing I did want to walk you through is the donor experience when they are making a donation on the Midlands Gives platform, whether that's year round or on the Midlands Gives Day, what that looks like. So let's go ahead and walk through that next. So I'm just going to go to the website here. So this is just a shortcut. And then so on the website, donors or users can search for organizations in a couple of different places. There's the box at the top here. So that's just intended to be, easy access next to the main navigation. There's also the Find Your Cause search bar here. And this is, intended to be kind of front and center. If a prospective donor searching for an organization, they can search for a name and select enter, or they can also search for these different categories. So these are, your nonprofit organization's primary mission category. Say, someone is interested in giving to an organization for Midlands Gives Day, but they don't know, who they want to give to. So this is how they can sort by that. So if we search for test here, so this is where a donor can search for an organization. So again, similarly, they can see different organization logos here. You'll see the primary mission category in kind of like the gray box. So animal, faith-based, all of those different category areas. There's also a quick link to the donate button on the organization tab here, say if a donor knows exactly what organization they want to give to, that allows them to get to that donate page faster. Or say a prospective donor is just wanting to learn more, understand more about an organization and see if they want to give to that organization. That's what the Learn More button is here for. So if I click on Learn More, that's going to take us to that organization overview here. So this is, again, the section that's coming from your organization's profile so that you can see the multimedia, the mission, etc. So from here, once a donor has decided I want to give to this particular organization, they can click that Donate Now button. And this is going to take them directly to the donation form. Here's our examples of the donation levels. So say I want to make a $75 donation. Notice there is the option for if a donor wants to make a recurring donation, that's a great way to support an organization long-term, something that happens automatically. So a donor can say, I want to give $25 every month, or simply just give a one-time donation here. Couple other fields. The donor can choose to help offset the cost of processing fees here. So that's what this option is if you would like to add 5% to this donation. So if this is selected as yes here, that's going to automatically increase the donation. It's still a tax deductible contribution. And then there's also an option for the donor to select if this is the first time they're giving to the organization or not, just as a self-select if they want to be anonymous or not, specifically to that organization that they're giving to. And then finally, there's just an open entry note field, say if they want to include a message about their donation. So it just allows, donor to include a note. And then, and there's also here the self-selected box where a donor can select if they are a board member for that particular organization. And then we can click Add to Cart. It's going to add this donation to the cart. Oops, I forgot to click the required field for if this is a first-time donation. So I'm going to say no. And notice that was a required field. So it gives me this warning message at the top here, and it also highlights the instructions on that field in red here. And then I'll go back to add to cart. Okay. So this is the cart. So, the concept of the giving day is, donors are able to give to multiple organizations at the same time. So here's where a donor can select they can view additional nonprofits, say if they want to give another donation, or if they're just interested in seeing, if there are other nonprofits they want to support. There's also the option to give to the Community Impact Endowment Fund here. So under the Help Good Grow, so that has the text kind of explains what that is. If the donor wanted to add an additional amount to support that fund specifically, they can do that here. And then kind of finally, the next section to proceed with the cart is to check out with ACH or credit card, or there is the option here to check out with a donor advised fund. Now, checking out with the donor advised fund would be for donors at the Central Carolina Community Foundation if they have a donor advised fund. And then there's also instructions here for the donor to see, what that means if they want to establish a fund, who they would contact to go about doing that. So if I want to just check out with a credit card or ACH, which is perhaps more common, then I'm going to click the green button. And then that's going to take us to the kind of final, well, first, if a donor wants to log in or not, they can always continue as a guest, or a donor can log in to their account. That would be creating a donor account allows a donor to save a payment history. It allows them to access their accounts and print receipts, do things like that. So in this case, I could simply continue as guest if I don't want to log in. And then here is the payment form. So someone can pay using credit card. One new option as of last year on the platform is the addition of Google Pay or Apple Pay on the donation form. So here you can see this has pay with Google Pay as an option. That's because I am accessing the Midlands Gives website on a Chrome browser. So if a donor were to be accessing the Midlands Gives donation form on a Safari browser or an Apple device, that would actually show them the options for Apple Pay. So it's just a quick and easy way for a donor to check out with an existing payment option that they have saved. So they can click with Google Pay if they want to proceed that way, or they can enter in their credit card information here. And then there's just billing fields, what's required. And then finally down at the bottom, submit is going to process the payment. So I know that was a lot and kind of a little quick, but I wanted to make sure we can cover everything and just to kind of get a sense for you to get a sense of exactly what a donor is seeing when they make a donation online. So let me know if you have questions. Other things you see on the form here are the donor common questions. These are questions that might be common that a donor is wondering about or might be helpful for someone to see if they're in the process of checking out, but they're not sure about how something works. So these allow you to expand an answer and go through common questions here. Also, you'll see in the very lower right here, there's the support icon. So this is available for both nonprofit organizations, your any users, as well as donors if you have any trouble on the website or need any technical support. So this is a resource that is definitely helpful in that regard, particularly if there's a donor that's having trouble with a donation, or if they need help, they can open a support ticket here with our support system. So we always want to make sure that everyone is aware of that resource if they do have any trouble or you have any questions that they need answered that they can't find on the website. So yeah, that's pretty much the donor experience. Let me go back to our agenda here, see what else we have. And then, okay, let's see what's next. Next thing I wanted to go over is matching gifts. So matching gifts are those gifts that are secured by your organization that can be entered into the platform to automatically calculate. So these screenshots here show how you do that, but I'll show you in the system. So I'm going to go back to the admin system, 1 second. Here, and to enter a matching gift that you have secured, you're going to go to your profile and edit it. So I'm going to click edit my profile and then scroll down here. It's in the same section as the goals here. So there's the fundraising goal. So that's just your overall goal for Midlands Gives Day. This is something that you can enter that can display on your organization's profile. I'll show you an example of what that looks like too. And then matching gifts here. So this says, matching gifts are given directly from donors to your organization, not specifically anything that's coming through the Midlands Gives platform. And then it explains those matching dollars are listed on the profile, on your profile. So if you have a matching gift, you can select yes and put in the matching fund amount here. And then again, this will be displayed on your profile. So if I enter in an example here, then I save the changes. So those will display on your profile once early giving begins and on Midlands Gives Day. So let me show you an example of what that looks like. So here I have a link that I saved here because this organization happens to have matching gifts on their profile. One moment, let me show you. Again, this will display during early giving and on the gives day. So that's why I'm kind of clicking around a little bit to give you an example. So here we're looking at an organization, A Moment of Hope, and this happens just to be last year's dollars. So this has these, so you can see that here's the goal. So that's where I entered the goal amount. So this can have a progress goal, and then it does have the matching dollars remaining. So say maybe this organization put in whatever the full amount of their matching was, and what the system is doing is it's automatically calculating in the total the dollars raised, including that match. So it's calculating it for you. So the number that this organization is seeing here is going to be higher. It's including what the matching gift is besides what they're raising through the platform here. So that's just kind of an example of what that looks like. And then matches are, dollar for dollar matches, and those can be entered there, not required, but it's just a way, the concept in fundraising is it can help a donor to motivate them to give, right? So you can say, this total amount of dollars will be matched dollar for dollar. So it's an incentive. So that's what matching gifts are. So you can enter those on your profile now or up until Midlands Gives Day. And then last thing I wanted to go over is prizes. So prizes are those that are, available from the Central Carolina Community Foundation for organizations for Midlands Gives Day. So those will be updated on the website, exactly what the prizes are, what the criteria is closer to Midlands Gives Day. But I want to show you what those look like when they're awarded. So the screenshot here is of the leaderboard. So the leaderboard is going to be available during early giving and on Midlands Gives Day. And let me go directly to the link so you can see it a little bit larger. And then, so here's the leaderboard. So there's a couple of different tabs here. So there's the main organization tab. So that's each organization and, oh, I'm sorry, we're on the prizes tab here. So the prize, so this is the prize tab on the leaderboard. This is going to display the awarded prizes once they're awarded. So you can see Aflac Gives Back, this organization, or that's the prize that's won by the organization Serve and Connect. So once the prizes are awarded, you can see them here. So you can sort through them, see if your organization won a prize, etc. So that's where you'll see prizes that are awarded. And then, yeah, again, once closer to the event, the foundation will update, the web page that defines exactly what the prizes are and what the qualifications are. Otherwise, you'll see them here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for prizes. Let me go back to our agenda. Yeah, so that's actually the last thing I wanted to share. And then I did put just some information for, in the future, we'll take questions or wrap up here, but questions, immediate questions, and then also the instructions for technical support. Again, that blue support button icon that's available for organizations, nonprofit organizations, if they have a technical question, trouble with the website, as well as donors. Yeah, so I'll, Chantrell, hand it back over to you and go through any other questions.
Mary, one question was, could we go back over adding documents to our profile?
Sure, absolutely. So let me go back to the admin profile, admin login. So the documents section here, so these are really just documents that are listed that may have been a part of registration. So there's not a specific reason that an organization would add another document here. This is just where they'll display from registration. So let me see. I'm not sure if we have, off the top of my head, if we have any required documents for registration right now.
I don't believe so, Mary.
Yeah, we don't. So that section is probably not applicable for a specific goal. It's just going to display any past documents that your organization may have uploaded. Let me know if that answers your question or if there is. something else I may have missed? Or other questions, rather?
Are there any questions that someone may have? You can drop them in the chat, or you can come on mute and ask.
No, I think you did a good job explaining it, so thank you.
Yeah, of course. I know it's a lot of information, but yeah, don't hesitate if you have questions or need help. Oh, you see another question come in. What needs to be placed in comments? So comments are not something that your organization needs to enter. Comments would be if the Central Carolina Community Foundation made any specific requests of you. So an example here, just in my test account is, please update your budget. So that's just a example of a comment that the foundation could have given to you. I don't think this is used too much, maybe just occasionally if there's something that your organization needs to update, but if there's something that you need to do, the Midlands Gives team is going to reach out to you to make sure you understand what you need to do.
I have a question.
Sure.
As far as advertising, or say with social media, well, not so necessarily social media, but with the media, does permission need to be given from your organization before we can say ask someone from a television station to advertise the information for us? Say, for instance, if we want to promote that our organization is participating in Midlands Gives, do we need to get permission from your organization before we can have the media put it on their
Yes,
advertising?
ma'am. So you won't have to advocate for the media about promoting Midlands Gives. We're going to do that for you. We are going to send out a media interest form probably in the next month or so. So when we send that out, just go ahead and fill that out, because news stations will contact us asking which organizations would like to do interviews. So just go ahead and fill that out, and that way we'll know who wants to do an interview. And when the news stations contact us, we can contact you guys and ask, are you available that day?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question related to that. What about print media? Because I know that there's print media might be interested, and it won't be a matter of, yeah, tell us about print media, such as local newspapers and things of that nature.
We do have advertisements going into the local newspapers for print media as well. Is there a specific paper that you would wanted to do an ad in?
I believe Carolina Panorama. I don't know if you have them on your list, but I would like you to add them if you have not. I think that's the name of it.
Okay, we can add this to our list as well.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I appreciate that.
Are there any more questions?
Are you still reading the chat? Or are we
Yes,
all
ma'am.
going
I
to?
just
Okay.
sent a message back. If any of you guys are having trouble still navigating your profiles or have additional questions you may not feel comfortable asking right now, I did put my email address on there. We can schedule a time in person or Zoom to chat over your profile.
And it is going to be virtual this year, again, not in person, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. So this year, it is a virtual event, but this year we are celebrating 10 years. So we are going to have a drop-in celebration, celebrating 10 years of Midlands Gives, and when the date gets closer, we'll send out the details for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wanted to ask, and maybe I'm jumping the gun here. I did put it in the chat. Are we toggling back and forth between Neon and Midlands Gives, or is it just seamless now? I know that
Neon One is the platform that Midlands gives you. So when you
yes.
log in, you're going to log into midlandsgives.org. Neon One is just a company that we use to host the platform.
Yeah, and they have a number of other things that they will offer, and it seemed to be beyond Midlands Gives, because I tried to look at some of their training things that they had that are just general for any kind of, not specifically for Midlands Gives, but for any sort of like giving day, because obviously people do this around the country. And then they start offering things that look like products. So I just wasn't sure where I was venturing.
Yeah,
I
so I
think-
think, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say that, yeah, for the purposes of Midlands Gives, you're just using the one website. In this presentation, Mary was going back and forth between what you see on the back end, or what the nonprofit sees behind the scenes, versus what the public sees on the front end whenever they log in. But it's all one website that you're using. And so, yeah, Neon One is just the company itself that that provides this website, but you wouldn't need to go to Neon One for other kinds of stuff for the purposes of Midlands Gives.
Okay, I couldn't find that black screen. I don't know how you got to that, what that behind the scene thing where the whole screen was like a dark purplish. And
that was just an incognito page, I think. So you don't have to worry about that.
We don't use that.
You don't have to worry about it.
Okay, good. Thank you. You showed me so much.
Okay, so let me say this: the final date to update your profiles will be April 30th. So right before Midlands Gives Day.
And then
And
just
if you're not registered and approved yet, that final date is February 28th.
Yes.
But you can always update your goal on Midlands Gives Day if you need to. That's one thing you will be able to do.
Yes. Mary, do have a question. To copy a fundraiser, does it already have to be available in order to copy?
Good question. So it does need to be available in that list. So as long as you're logged in, as your organization, and you go to My Fundraisers, you can click on the Show All to see all of the fundraisers that have been created for your organization. These will be available to copy. If there's something, like you have a specific question about one, or it's missing, or maybe you're confused, just reach out to our support team if you need help. But it does need to be available in the list for you to access that copy fundraiser function. Let me know if that's helpful.
Yes, the replay will be available after the recording is over with. Towards the end of the day, we will have it on the resource hub page of midlandsgives.org, and we'll drop that link in the chat.
Okay, I have a question about fundraisers created for our organization. Is that going to be in a different training session?
You mean the fundraiser page, or how to?
Yeah, how people can create a fundraiser for us through Midlands Gives. I think it's the peer-to-peer is one thing, and then there's other stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of lost with how can someone else create a fundraiser for us but still be connected to Midlands Gives.
Yes, ma'am. We do, Mary. We do have a step-by-step guide on the website, I do believe, right?
Correct. Yep. So I'd recommend, so you can go there yourself, or you can send the link to someone else. In the main navigation on the Midlands Gives website, it's underneath Get Involved, Create a Fundraiser page. So these are the instructions for a donor or a supporter for them to create their own fundraising page. So it's similar but different for you as an organization. So this page explains that. It's only 4 steps. They'll go to the website, they can click create a fundraiser, they'll create an account, and then they'll have like the same kind of data entry screen that we looked at before. And then they can share their fundraiser. So these are the instructions for donors or supporters to create their own fundraising page.
Is that replacing champion pages?
Correct. Exactly.
Aha. Okay.
Yep. Sorry, a lot of terminology there.
There is, and I just want to make sure I hadn't missed it. Thank you. Okay.
Are there any more questions?
Okay. I will, I just won't right now. Okay, I'm reading your answer about match numbers due.
I have a question.
Slash fundraising, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Somebody has a question?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to know what those training dates were again, and the last date for the registration. I think you said something about April 30th.
So the last day to update your profile will be April 30th. The last day to register to participate in Midlands Gives, that means you have to submit an inquiry application, will be February 28th. The training dates are February 16th is the Giving Day strategy. March 2nd is the communications training, and March 21st is the donor relations training.
I've noticed some organizations have already put their Midlands Gives on their website, and it looks like a template that belongs to Midlands Gives. Is that something, I mean, did they create their own, or do you all have a template for us to use to post on our websites?
Our templates will be updated towards the end of the month. We should have templates for you to use to put on your website for Midlands Gives. They may be using the old templates we had from last year.
Aha, okay, that's all right, okay.
If you attend the strategies training on February 16th, we'll be talking a little bit more about our toolkits and
Sure.
kind of when the best time is for you to be posting about it and getting your stuff organized as well. And then on March 2nd, we'll be talking about communications, where we'll be diving more in depth into the marketing toolkit and what our what our templates are and these images and the logos and things like that. And so that is on March 2nd.
Okay, that's good. So I'm not going to try to get people to set up any fundraising pages for us till I get through all that training. Thank you so much. This was good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Glad you're thinking ahead and on the ball.
For
I'm
once in
sorry.
these years.
What was the one that you were going to discuss on the 16th going to be about?
It's our strategies workshop. So we'll go over our 10-week strategy plan on how to build a strategy around Midlands Gives. What you get out of Midlands Gives is basically what you put in. So we are going to give you like a step-by-step toolkit to use to help you guide your way through planning a strategy around Midlands Gives or any giving day. And that 10-week checklist will be up by the end of this week in the Resource Hub page before the training next week.
Okay, I think we're a little bit past our time. If we have any last questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. Actually, no, we're always available for questions. You can email Chantrell at midlandsgives@yourfoundation.org. She is manning that, and you can also give her a call as well. And in fact, everybody here at the foundation, we're happy to help, whether it's with Midlands Gives or with grant making or grant applications or anything like that. So we appreciate all of y'all coming to learn more. I hope this was a useful session for you. As we talked about, we have some other sessions to actually deal more with the Midlands Gives Day, which is May 2nd. It's always the first Tuesday in May for us. This will be our 10th year that we're doing that. So thank you to all of our returning organizations that have been a part of us, and then also all of our newbies too. We hope we can help you to learn a lot about this platform that you can use year round as well. Chantrell, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Nope,
What about you, Mary?
Nothing for me. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much. And I'll send this recording out to everyone after this ends.